welcome everyone to our first, the Mayor's Corner. We developed this in hopes to get out more information to the public and to our citizens about some of the updates that are going on within our governing body or government. So today, and by the way, I'm sorry, we're going to be doing this every last Friday of the month. So every end of the month on a last Friday, we will bring this Mayor's Corner to you and hopefully get some more feedback from everyone and see what are some of the things you would like for us to discuss or bring to you or you would like to hear. Some of the things that today we would be covering, and I have our guest, Mr. Patrick Thomas, that is our fire chief, and he's also our emergency management coordinator. We would like to bring some of the hurricane and severe storm preparedness and also talk a little bit about the upcoming events for summer and kind of some of the precautions or information about masks and coronavirus. So with that, I hand it over to you, Mr.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Mayor. So, yes, there's a lot to discuss on emergency management right now, especially going into hurricane season. Hurricane season starting next week on Tuesday.
June 1st.
June 1st is our hurricane season. So, we're hoping for a real quiet season, but we're predicted to have a pretty busy one. So,
Yes.
we want to be prepared for that. So, there's a lot to discuss on that, and of course, the pandemic that we're still, I know it seems like we are seeing light at the end of the tunnel, and we're towards the end of the pandemic is what I believe, but we're still not done yet. There's still some things that need to happen, and we still need to be taking precautions and things like that. So, but let's talk a little bit about hurricanes first, Mayor, if that's okay with you.
Yes.
So, hurricane season, as I stated earlier, it starts June 1st, which is Tuesday, and there's a lot of things that the city's been doing to prepare for that. Even as far as just this morning, we were meeting with Commissioner Kirchhoff and Chapa over in precinct, I believe it's 3. I always get their precincts mixed up, but we met with her this morning about helping us on the county side of some of those drainage ditches and creeks that go out. So it's important that we maintain those things so that way the water flows, and we've made some huge strides in the city.
This is something that we are collaborating with our county, and this is to clear out some of the ditches, some of the debris that is out there so that the water flows better if, heaven forbid, we have a heavy rain. And those are the things that you're touching on is
Yes.
what we're preparing.
Yes, and we're preparing for that, not just for hurricane season, but just severe storms and rains. Just here last week, it was last week, the week before last, we had those rains that came through, and I think we fared well. We're always looking to see how we can make sure that things get better every time, and we've been the last couple of years working on that. Some of those ditches, in some situations, it's just a matter of clearing out a drainage ditch or system. Some situations, there's some engineering work that needs to happen, and some things need to be redesigned, and so there's and we're going to talk a little bit here a little bit later in the show about the grant. So. There's different ways to deal with it. So we're looking at doing that, and we stay pretty busy. Our street crews, our parks crews, they do a great job of keeping those areas clean, and it needs to extend that. No, go ahead.
The one thing that I would like to convey to our citizens is that some of the things that they can do to prepare, as far as if you have your tree branches that are hanging low, trim those. You have trampolines, you have patio furniture, because during these severe windstorms, those become objects that could cause damage.
Right. A good example is during the ice storm. During the ice storm, it wasn't it was the ice that was on a branch that caused the branch it was a weak branch that fell onto that power line that took out the electricity that went to the power plant, and so. It's important that we trim our trees, keep our stuff pruned and trimmed, and furniture, patio furniture, whether it be that trampolines. Those trampolines are during this last windstorm that came through. There was trampolines all over the streets, and so those are important to tie those things down. It's taking those little simple precautions can help eliminate a bigger problem later during a storm. And so that's important to discuss and be prepared for, and not just during hurricanes, but anytime there's like right now is our storm season. So we're going to start seeing those little storms that are going to pop up and come through, from one day to the next or a couple of days of notice.
Sure. One thing that I'm really excited about is we have posted this, and you've posted this as our emergency management coordinator in collaboration with the county and with, I think you said it's going to be on the Alice Echo. It's called our Hyper Reach, and I'm excited about this because we're going to encourage our citizens to register for this Hyper Reach link. And what this does is get out information to you when there is it's an alert that will be sent out if you've registered with this system. Can you elaborate a little bit more on this?
So I'm really excited about this program as well. This is a program that it's not necessarily new. We have what has changed is the company that powers the system. So it's still Lucas. It's still the local unified community alert system that we're used to. But we've changed the company that supports that program. And so this was a combined effort between the city and the county. And that's one thing that I want to touch base on real quick, Mayor. A lot of these things that happen during a hurricane, during a storm, before, after, it takes a lot of collaboration. It takes a lot of coordination. And there's the teams, right? And it goes a little bit even further than that. You've got your local city team, and then the county's got their team, and the hospital has their team, and each one of us has our own emergency management teams that manage our own facilities and our own organizations. But then we also work as a bigger team, and so there's times like, for instance, this morning where the city manager, myself, and our public works director were meeting with one of the commissioners, and we're going to continue to meet with other commissioners as well, and the judge, the county's emergency management coordinator. We communicate with them very often. More often during a disaster or during a storm, but even when there's not something happening, we're still communicating with each other and coordinating, and so it's a bigger effort. So this is a good example of one. The clearing of the drainage ditches is another good example of one. Some of these grants that we're going to talk about later that clear out creeks and drainage, those are another good example of collaborating and working with from one government agency to another government agency. But in addition to that, some of our non-government agencies, your local Red Crosses, your Red Cross organization, your United Way, working with all those non-government agencies is important as well. Our school district, who played a huge role in our ice storm, and really came to help us help the community. And so
it's a collaborative
it is. And so I want to make sure people know that it's while we're doing a lot of things on the city side, there's other agencies that are doing the same thing, and we're working with them. But HyperReach, our Lucas system, is a good example of that. And so there's a number of different ways you can sign up. You can sign up with the QR code. You can sign up by going to hyperreach.com/JimWells sign up. You can also, there's a phone number that you can call. There's a text alert. You can text the number, and you can sign up through a text message. You can sign up by actually filling out one of these forms and turning it into the emergency management office here at City Hall. And so this is going to be available. Yes.
We have this on our website at the www.cityofalice.org, and you can access that form and register for this HyperReach alert. It's very important, especially during an emergency, how we communicate with everyone. So it'll make it easier. I encourage everyone to please log on and sign up for this HyperReach.
So, and this is really what's really unique and different about this system, and the reason we moved to this system is that there's a couple different things it does. It'll send out alerts through your phone, through your cell phones. Everybody's got a mobile phone with them. I tell the story. My daughter, I've got a 9-year-old daughter, and I was dead set that she did not need a cell phone. She didn't need one. I couldn't see why she needed a phone, and she's a 9-year-old. I didn't have a phone when I was a 9-year-old, but things are changed. Society's different now, and she was probably one of the only kids in her whole school that didn't have a phone. And so she did get one. Of course, she's got restrictions on what she can do and can't do on it. But I use that story because everybody's got a phone now. It's just part of society now. And so
Just
you'll
encourage
get
everyone.
you'll get the message through the phone. You'll get it through an email. You can get it through a voice. If you wanted to call a landline, it'll call a landline. You know, some people still have landlines, so it'll do that. And there's different types of messages that you can sign up to get. You can get community alerts. So if it's just if you want to be notified when you know, maybe a brush route's going to be in your area, or you know, there's a delay in trash pickup that day for whatever reason. You know, if you want to get notices like that, you can sign up for those types of notices. Of course, you can sign up for the weather alerts. You can sign up for just the emergency, just to receive emergency alerts only, and not all the rest of the messages. So it's kind of you can pick and choose.
Tailor it to your
what,
needs
yeah,
and what
to,
you want. What you
right.
would
So I
want
really
to
thought
be
that was
involved
really neat.
So
The different ways that you can register for it was really important to me. And then there's also some two-way communication that will be going out. So if we're going to be doing you know, we send a message out that says press 1 if you're you know, have power at your house, or press 2 if you don't. You know, just an example of questions that could go out that you can communicate back
and
with
that
the city.
helps us also in coordinating some of these messages that go out. They do ask, do you need help? Are you in need of someone to come to your home because let's say it was a flood or something.
Right.
So it's important. Register for this hyper reach. It's a great communication tool. It's great for you to be alerted, like you said, on brush pickup, anything you want to sign up for.
It's going to help us as an emergency management team make decisions as well. If we know that half of our city is flooded in, or for whatever reason, and we get that message out, and we've got that data that, you know, it helps us make decisions on where we need to focus our efforts, what neighborhoods we need to focus our efforts on during a disaster. So yeah, it's this tool is a very, very powerful resource for us to have. And there's also there's the one there's the city, you know, and you're going to see it. So we've got our emergency our hurricane guide that we partner with the Alice Echo with every year. That'll be coming out. It'll be ready on Tuesday. And so you'll be able to pick those up anywhere that the Alice Echo is available. And then we'll have some here at City Hall that we'll be able to pass out as well. So if somebody wants one of those guides, but this page will be, I don't know if you can see it on the thing, but this page will be the ad that comes out on that guide.
That guide will have also some prepared.
So the guide this year will have a list of the named storms. It'll have a tracking map. It'll have information like this. There's also some information that you're going to receive from the county. I don't think they're putting this in there, but I want people to understand that the county system and the city system is one and the same. Again, working together, collaborating, and not duplicating our efforts. You know, it didn't make sense for us to have a system and for the county to have a system. Well, we're all the same people, and so we combined our efforts, and we both. This is when you sign up for the Alice one, you're also signing up for the Jim Wells one. When you sign up for the Jim Wells one, you're also signing up for the Alice one.
That's good to know.
Yeah,
Yes.
and so on for City of Orange Grove, City of Fremont. Everybody in the county. This is a countywide system, and each city has access to it, and each community has the access to be able to. And so this message, if I send a message out, people in Orange Grove are not going to get the message about the brush pickup in Alice, or a message. It's tailored to a neighborhood. We can go down to just sending a message to just one street. We can send a message to the entire city, or we can send a message to the entire county.
And
so it's flexible, and so when you sign up, it's one big system. Is really what I really want to push.
And again, what we would like to encourage our citizens to do is to reach out and go visit the website and register for this hyper reach, and click on the link or access the QR code. But the main thing is register and get yourself registered on there so that you will receive these messages. Communication is very important during these emergency situations, or just being alerted on what's going on. So
right, and again, you can fill the city form out and turn it in with the city. Even if you live in the county, you can turn it in here. It's going to go into the same database, the same system. So I think that's really important.
And they'll be available on the second floor at City Hall. The guides.
The guides, we'll have some on the first floor over where you pay the water bill. We usually put a stack there.
Okay.
We'll put a stack here on the second floor. They're pretty much available anywhere. I think we send some to the library as well, so that way you can pick one up at the library. Anywhere that the Alice Echo is available, they usually put stacks there.
So be on the lookout.
We're excited
for
about
these.
we're excited about it this year. So there's a lot happening, a lot to do.
The one thing also that I apologize.
Sure. No.
That I wanted to touch base on is also on our Facebook page, or I'm sorry, not our Facebook, our website, for the city website. We have preparation is a key, and it gives you some really good information about what to do if we are in a situation when, what items you want to have stored and how to store them. It gives you some key, you have some information on what, but this is like protect your critical documents, birth certificates, insurance policies, check your insurance documents, are you covered for flooding, have a supply of non-perishable food items, canned goods, plenty of water, stock up on candles, flashlights, batteries, have all portable devices, radios, backup chargers fully charged, know your emergency routes in case of voluntary mandatory evacuations, and then of course 911 for all emergencies. And then there's also a list of phone numbers to contact police, fire, city hall, county courthouse, and AEP. So this is on our website at the www.cityofalice.org.
And so we send this information out every year, and that's part of what that guide is for. In the guide that we do with the Alice Echo News Journal, they provide all that information, so it's all in one place. So we do encourage you to take those guides, take a look at it, assemble all that information, make sure you know where all that information is, so that way during a disaster or an emergency you can grab it pretty quickly and be able to move.
Stored in one spot.
Right. The other
waterproof.
Yeah. The other important thing that I want to point out is resources. Make sure that you you can go to our website. Some of this information is available on our website, but please look at. There are a lot of experts out there. The American Red Cross. They have information as well. Preparation kits. They've got a lot of great resources. So I recommend you really go out to those different websites and get that information and follow their guidance. And they do this a lot. So.
And we thought it was important to bring this forth because, again, we're entering hurricane season, and that starts June 1st. So take a look at that. We ask, be prepared. Prepare your, like what we said, if there's a storm coming, check your branches, the loose patio furniture or anything. Just be prepared to mitigate any kind of damages. And
so let's talk a little bit about coronavirus and the
Yes.
COVID-19 pandemic. As I said earlier, we're really not out completely yet. There's still a lot that is happening, and we're still on the city and the county side. And I know there's different things happening in the county, different things happening in the city, but I know that the county's working and still doing things on with the COVID-19 pandemic. But the city on our side, I can tell you, we're still pretty busy communicating with state partners on this, and really it's we're not the experts in viruses and pandemics. That's not our what we're normally used to dealing with. So it was definitely a learning experience going through this, but we depend greatly on our medical experts, our doctors, our state health departments, and even our federal health departments. And so there's a lot happening. I know it's the last couple months has been kind of hectic. Kind of, do I wear a mask? Do I don't wear a mask? Wear two masks? It's been a little confusing. And what I want to say on that is, I think everybody just needs to make a decision for themselves and take the advice of the medical expert that you trust and make a decision for you and your family. If you feel that you need to wear the mask, wear the mask. And if you don't feel that you need to wear the mask, then it's I know the mask mandate. I think June 2nd, I believe, is that they're no longer a mandate.
I think follow whatever the CDC guidelines are.
Right. CDC's got some excellent resources and excellent information, and we use that a lot here, making decisions here with the city, even with some of our city employees. We follow the CDC's guidelines and recommendations. They're the experts. We're not. We don't know the information they know about the different pandemics and viruses and different strains and things like that.
Is there a link that our citizens can go to that they can get more information?
Yes,
and be informed?
we will share that. So we have an emergency management Facebook page. We've also got a city Facebook page, and I think there's a couple others. I think the police department and library have their Facebook pages, but we have one specifically for emergency management. And we created that one just to be able to provide information such as hurricane stuff, storm stuff. And so if you're following us on that Facebook page, you're seeing some of the, like for instance, this last storm, you saw some of the alerts and things that went out. For the pandemic, that's where we're sharing information on the pandemic. For a long time, we were sharing the numbers there, how many positives, how many people had been tested, things like that. So these, if you follow that, we'll post some links to the CDC's website so you can get information from there and kind of route people that way. But I really don't like giving medical advice out because I'm not a doctor.
We're not the experts in that. So follow our CDC guidelines.
Follow CDC's guidelines. Follow your local doctor's guidelines. You have a health provider. Those you go to them for a reason because you trust them and you know that they're going to give you the good advice. So follow their advice.
Just be
vaccines.
cautious.
Yeah, be cautious.
Our summer events are coming. I know everyone's excited, and I'm excited about this. But
there's a couple of things. Everybody's excited that we're finally able to get out this summer because last summer we were all cooped up and quarantined. So this summer we get to go. Get to go out. There's a lot more things happening. I've noticed that just here in Corpus, the Hooks games are back on. Local sports events are happening again. We went through baseball season, softball season. It was really good to see everybody coming back out together. And there's the do I wear a mask? Do I not wear a mask? Again, it's a personal decision that you need to make. Same thing with the vaccines. Let's talk a little bit about vaccines.
Yeah, I would say just like I said, go get educated through what the recommendations are for.
Right. There's a lot of back and forth on the vaccines. Should I get it? Should I not get it? Now it's down to 12-year-olds that can get it. And then there's the different brands. I'm not going to recommend a specific brand of vaccine. I'm not going to tell you should get it or shouldn't get it. That's a decision that you need to make for your own personal health. But what I will say is that the city is not here to tell you to go get it or don't go get it. We're here to make sure that if you want it, you can get it. And so we've been working very closely with local health providers. We've been working with the state health department. We've been working with Spawn Hospital, who's was designated as the hub. So you saw throughout this whole pandemic, you saw our firefighters, our code officers, our police officers, even just general city employees that were out helping to make sure that all those events happened. Everywhere, even from our street departments that were going. We had one situation where we had to get our street department to go make a ramp so that the cars could get in and out of a canopy to drive up to be able to get their shots. So we've done everything we could to make sure that if somebody wants the vaccine, we make sure that it's available and that they have access to it. We're going to continue to do that.
A collaboration of
Yes.
everyone coming together. And we also have private citizens volunteering.
Right, and so, we didn't bring the vaccine here. We didn't. Yes, we just made sure that whoever had the vaccine was able to get that vaccine out to as many people that needed it or wanted it. And we're gonna, like I said, we're gonna continue to do that. We're still working pretty closely with the hospital, working with Dr. Nissenblad. He's been receiving a bunch of vaccines and he's trying to get those out. We've been doing home visits. We have our firefighters that have been, and even some of our code officers have been going out with the nurses, and in some cases the firefighters have been administering the vaccines. So we're going from home to home. If somebody can't get out of their house and wants the vaccine, we're doing everything that we can to try to get it to them.
So they can find something on our Facebook page?
Yes, you can contact our office. If you still need the vaccine and haven't been able to get it, call over to the emergency management office, and Ms. D, our admin assistant, will make that, put you on our list. And we don't have the vaccines ourselves. We coordinate them through other providers. So if we know that there's a local doctor that has vaccines, we have a master list that we go off of. The doctor calls and says, hey, I've got 15 vaccines that I need to disperse. We go to the next 15 people on the list and give them to him and say, here you go. Go at it and get them the vaccine. So we just
reach you?
They can call the 361-664-3111 and then just press 4 for administration and it'll get over to
They'll coordinate or help
yeah.
them with that. Okay, well, great. Well, great news. Thank you for updating us on those items. The one thing too, don't forget, please register for the Hyper Reach program or
Yes.
alert system. We encourage that. There is a little bit, I don't want to take too much of your time or everyone's time, just to kind of update you and the public on some of the things that are happening within our City Hall here with the governing body. We have some budget workshops that are coming up. We have on July 20th, we're presenting the budget and to council, and then our first budget workshop is tentatively set up for August 3rd. August 10th, we also have a budget public hearing. And during these budget workshops, we welcome the public to come in and talk about these. If you have a concern about the budget, it will be posted, and the agenda should be posted. So you're welcome to come and speak in reference to the budget. There's also August 17th, the regular meeting, and there will be a review and budget, kind of a small budget workshop that day. And on the 24th will be our second budget workshop. And then tentatively September 9th would be the day that we would adopt our budget and set our tax rate. So if any of those dates you wish to come and speak on those, we welcome it. Bring your comments, your suggestions, concerns. We want this to be informative, and then also for us to see what are the concerns you have. So please, I welcome anyone wanting to come and speak on those. Also, just a brief update. I know we had a lot of citizens asking about the American Rescue Plan. The U.S. Department of Treasury had issued that the City of Alice would be receiving approximately $4.07 million. I know there's a lot of talks of how is it going to be expensed? What is the plan? Currently, we haven't received those funds yet. We're waiting to hear when those are going to be expensed. But as far as the plans, that's still in the works. There's some guidelines, and it's still a little bit, we're still not sure exactly how those guidelines are, what the recommendations are. We have a general idea, but we'll be refining that once we get the actual, order or
the guidance. So
on
the Department of Treasury will issue some guidance
Yeah.
on how we can and can't spend it.
spend those.
And it's a process that we're going to have to go through to make sure that we spend it properly. There's a lot of needs. There's a lot of areas that we're going to be able to help us recover from the pandemic, and so it's going to take a lot of work on the city staff side, and as well as some work on the city council side. So the council will come together and make those decisions based on the city staff's recommendations and information.
Yes, so, and I don't believe we're gonna get the full amount all at one time.
It's
being
split.
split.
Right, it's split into a two-year, it's
So,
a two-year program.
Again, we'll bring you more information about it once we receive those guidelines and have an actual plan in place. The other one is that we were excited about and we announced was the City of Alice was granted a $6.9 million grant by the Texas GLO, which is our General Land Office, for historic disaster mitigation projects within our city. And if you go to our website, I believe it's on the Facebook page, we did post something in reference to this, and you can see how that project is composed of. It's of 2 sites, so it'll tell you exactly what the plan is. And again, we still have more planning to do with that, but we were granted the $6.9 million.
That's a huge deal especially for that neighborhood and that area of town. Again, just collaboration, working with everybody inside the city, and this $6.9 million grant from the General Land Office is a small part of an even bigger grant. I want to say it was close to $30 million that's coming to Jim Wells County, different areas and different agencies. But again, hurricane preparedness and flood management. This is going to be a huge thing for that improvement for that area that
and we've seen
typically
how
floods.
these neighborhoods get flooded, and I know there's a lot of need out there, but we're working on everything. The budget workshops are going to be very important in this, in planning our future. So I encourage you to come and join us for those workshops and speak on those.
On the grants, Mayor, and I know that there was some concerns and some, or not really concerns, but just questions about how did those areas get picked and things. There's a process that we go through to decide where our best opportunities are to be able to grab that funding to support the projects. That's not the only area of town that we have plans for. Or we have
it's an ongoing.
There's a lot of need across the entire city, and so anytime that there's a grant, or whether it's through the General Land Office, Department of USDA, or any grant that's out there that we can grab to help fund one of those programs, the city manager and our grant administrator are pretty good about prioritizing and making sure that we can have a good chance at getting that funding to make that project happen.
So
this is just one of those
great.
projects.
It's a great start, and thank you to our council and to our grants department, everybody really, because this doesn't happen with one department or just one council. It's everybody coming together, and this is a huge accomplishment and a great start. So thank you to everyone, and we will continue to work on trying to obtain more grants in the future. We also wanted, just real quick, to also update everyone. We did have the vector spray after the heavy rains with the mosquitoes.
Yep.
And
when you have the rain, right, shortly after the rain, everybody knows that those helicopters come out and start biting us, stinging us. And so, the cities, we do have a vector control program. It's a little, fortunately, right after, I believe it was Hurricane Harvey, we were able to capture some federal or some grant money to help replace some of that equipment.
Yes.
And so the old truck that we had, or the old, it's a little unit that goes in the back of a pickup truck that drives through, was kind of aging and kind of, it was old, and we'd had it for a long time. So our sanitation department was able to get a grant to replace that, and this it's a new and improved sprayer that's on that thing. You may see it. I know it looks like it might be the same thing, but it's done a little differently. It's a little bit more. It's newer, so it's more efficient. We're able to cover more ground faster with this new system. So it's we're really excited about that, and we're excited that we're able to offer that as a service to the citizens.
And I do believe it's supposed to be today. We complete the spray.
I believe so. I'm not 100% sure on their schedule, how far it went through, but there's a process, and our sanitation department is also our vector control department. So they're working hard to make sure that we get the spray throughout the city, so that way we can keep those mosquitoes at bay.
And we're working, continuing with our brush pickup. That's ongoing. Just be patient with us. We will be getting out there, and I know we have so much more brush now because of the storm and the freeze.
The freeze killed off a lot of vegetation, so there's a lot of people that are still cleaning up debris from or vegetation, dried up vegetation that died during the freeze, and then now you have the storm that blew through and blew stuff everywhere too. So please be patient with our brush crews. They're working hard to try to stay on schedule and pick up the brush, but there's a lot, and it's taking a toll on them. So just please be patient with them.
So thank y'all for tuning in. I want to wish everyone a wonderful, safe, and happy Memorial Day weekend. And we'll be in touch. Remember, we'll be broadcasting this every last Friday, once a month, the last Friday of the month. So hope to see y'all. I hope this was informative. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll talk soon. Thank you.